What's going on, everybody? This is Clay. We are going to start the new arc of the 4th edition L5R game. Uh, don't know what it'll be yet, though I did list the title. Don't worry about it. That may or may not happen. After the events of A Night of a Thousand Screams, time has passed by. The city of Ryokorori has cleaned itself up. The Thunder Guard are out, making sure its citizens are happy. The ceremony of the sun has occurred, and the sun goddess herself has blessed the city for another year. The scene is going to open up weeks after the event of A Night of a Thousand Screams at the compound of the Emerald Magistrate for the city. You see it go through the winding garden that he has surrounding his two-story building, the small pond off to the side, and the clinking of the bamboo as it picks up water and drops it off at other locations. Inside, you see our great and wonderful Emerald Magistrate, Hida Kampachi, going through scrolls that Mia is giving him. His Otaku battle maiden, Yojimbo, who we all know is not what she appears. And the latest invoice that he has received is an invitation for tonight, very short notice, to the governess's palace to congratulate him and the others for what they've done for the city. It is also to welcome in an imperial visiting the city. And that's where we'll open up. Go ahead, Mr. Crab. You see that Mia has given you that that scroll, and you've just finished reading it. She's standing there waiting for instruction.
Oh, this is gonna be really hard. We're gonna get our fucking streams crossed. It's Yoko.
Oh, Yoko. My bad.
No,
I make my note.
I was just thinking that too, because I was already like thinking about my Seppen.
Don't cross the streams.
Yeah, never cross the streams. Okay. I'm gonna ask Yoko if she's heard anything from the messenger I sent to the Cooney.
Yes. We have received, and she goes to the wall with the many, many scrolls in the different slots and pulls out one that has got the mon and ribbon of your clan. And she pulls that out and reads it to you. Says that Kuni Masato will be coming to the city. She scrolls it really quick. He should be here in the next day or so.
Well, that's good.
Along with, he is requesting that you escort him back to Crablands with this item.
Very good. That's something I can probably do. Hey, I had another question, Yoko. It's been a little bit busy around here, but whatever happened to that Akodo that helped us? He seemed to slink away.
That is true. Just like he appeared out of nowhere and tagged along that night, he is now gone. I believe he is with his brother in town. I am not sure. I have not seen him since the night of the incident. He said that he was completed his task, whatever that was.
Well, he sure was useful. I guess I'll have to put in a good word for him then tonight when we're at the governess's. I'm sure she'll want us to tell a little bit about what happened for her guest.
I hope he received her invitation. It would be quite dishonorable if he does not show.
Yes, it would be dishonorable, but hard to say what he'll do. He's a force to reckon with, I think. I think that's a man that walks his own path most of the time.
Hi. And Yoko will say, I have also been summoned. And then she reads off the name of your Yojimbo that died, the Otaku. She just shakes her head. Well, would you like me to attend?
Of course you should attend.
After reading that, you also receive another scroll. This is in the mark of the unicorn. It's unopened.
Before I open it, I'm going to smell it. What's it smell like?
sweat.
And I'll frown and say, "This isn't going to be good." And I'll turn and open it up.
Inside
It
the
smells
scroll,
like overwhelming.
inside the scroll, the kanji reads as such: Hida-san, I hope this receives you in good health. A delegation of Moto, Ida, and Utaku will be arriving in your city in the next couple of weeks. Please make them comfortable as we discuss the position of your Yojimbo, something that was received and given in a duty to Ida Kampachi. Signed, your father.
Now, my old Yojimbo Clay,
Mm-hmm.
was she a samurai?
Yes, she was. She was an Otaku battle maiden.
Yeah, just like a really low ranked one, correct?
She's older than you, probably a year or two older than you, and she hadn't really done much, but she is part of the Otaku.
Okay. So I'm going to roll that up and I'm going to say, well, Yoko, it looks like we have a bit of a problem. The unicorn are sending a mixed group of the various families to have some sort of discussion about what we're going to do with you.
And upon that, she reaches back and pulls out another scroll, this one bearing the mark of the dragon. And she looks at it with a frown and hands it over to you. It has been unsealed.
I'll just open it up and read it then.
Greetings, Kampachi, or greetings, Hida-san. We wish to inform you that a delegation of Miramoto will be in the city in the next couple of weeks to discuss the death of Miramoto Yoko. The death or missing in action Miramoto Asaka. And any involvement or information you have on the whereabouts of Void Dragon. Please be aware that we have the full backing of our Lord, Dragon Clan Champion, and the Emperor, Ida himself, Hentai himself. Please be aware that we will be there in a matter of weeks. Sincerely yours, Miramoto, Dragon Clan Champion.
Doesn't Togashi know, or not Togashi, but doesn't Miramoto know what had happened?
Yes, he does.
He's just throwing me under the bus. Great.
He's either throwing you under the bus or being pressured to do
That motherfucker.
Andrew, can we play one session of this game where we don't get put under the bus by someone?
No, I'm getting thrown
Please.
under the... This is what they call in wrestling a four-post massacre. I'll just take that and roll it up and hand it back to you.
Well, here's the hoping the Emerald Magistrate keeps. Here's the hoping the Emerald Magistrate keeps some KY jelly in his office because it sounds like he's gonna fucking need it.
And I'll look.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna look to Yoko and say, hey, Yoko, have you ever considered perhaps leaving the unicorn that you were never a member of and joining the crab?
Is that a marriage proposal?
Well, I was thinking, maybe a Casada could do me a favor at least right now and perhaps accept you as a member of his family just to get us over this hurdle we have here.
I could not do such a thing. It would be dishonoring the woman I am and the woman I'm parading around to be.
And I will narrow my eyes and say, Yoko, don't take this the wrong way. But don't you ever again attempt to preach to me about the woman whose body you're inhabiting.
She looks at you kind of curiously and she'll bow. Forgive my bluntness.
Okay. So what do you suggest that we do then? If you're unwilling to carry on with this little masquerade and attempt to come over to the crab, then are you willing to actually go back to the unicorn?
I would have to become Ronin in order to not dishonor either family. I was not, and she's about to say something. It is the only way of doing it, and to assign myself to you, or to leave your service and inform the unicorn of what's going on. I believe the Khan is aware of who I am, but I wondered why your father is pursuing this, or if you wouldn't say your father, because Kasada's your father, why Ide-san or Ide-sama is pursuing this.
Well, we know that a few different people know the truth. One of them is Miramoto, obviously. The Khan knows, and obviously Hida knows, because we were privy to that conversation we had with them back at Kasada's Winter Court. But it might be very likely they don't want it to get out, just because of the implications. I mean, Shadowlands taint some kind of blood magic or sorcery, and you would be viewed probably under that light as some kind of contaminant walking around the kingdom.
So I might have to go back with the Khan and play a role. I do not know. Maybe it is something that we should think on, and I will follow your advice.
Well, if you're thinking about becoming a Ronin, obviously think really hard. That social stigma is not something you're going to be able to undo.
Hi. She'll bow very low. I must get ready for tonight's dinner. And she excuses herself. We will pan out and head to the other side of town at the governess's palace. If you would describe your character for me, sir, and I will tell you where you find yourself.
Yeah, it's fine. Aikoto is actually Otomo. Aikoto is actually a middle-aged guy. He's not quite as old as Maikoto was, but he's reaching his late 20s at this point. He is beginning to show a little bit of wear around his eyes, especially from all the travel he does. Right now, he's currently wearing just his kimono with what's the sash called that holds a kimono in place?
Well, I can't think of it at the moment.
Yeah, I lost it in my head too. Anyways, he's wearing just his normal clothing, and on his left side, of course, he has this wakizashi, which is just a ceremonial weapon for him. And he has his hair's like getting slightly streaked with gray eyes, and he's an average height guy. I'm not thinking average height for a guy, and Rokugan is what, like 5'4", 5'5", somewhere in that range.
Okay.
Racist.
Something.
Racist.
That was a mistake. Shut up, you. I'm xenophobic. Let's get it right. Anyways, and he carries himself with an air of propriety and a lot more importance and a lot less grace than he should.
You find yourself in the palace of the governess, or the regent. And you are sitting at a low table, and you realize that when you were ushered in, that the Thunder Guard, which is a local military here, escorted you inside, and you've been waiting a few moments for the governess and her aides to show up. You also realize that there are probably 30 Seppin in attendance in this castle. You've seen their mons flying, their sashimonos flying within the grounds. So you know someone of importance is in residence. You are, again, the doors open, Soji screen opens, and you see the woman that is in the overlay that I am displaying approaches. She's an older woman, hasn't lost the beauty.
I'm only getting half of your overlay right now, so
Okay. Oh, you got your
sucks,
phone,
but
so you
keep
probably
going.
won't see the whole thing. But she is
It's
wearing
okay.
the colors of the Scorpion. You know that her name is Shishiro Hoobu. Shishiro Hoobu. And she comes in. I won't make you make an etiquette check or courtier check, but she is of higher station. But she comes in. Ah, greetings. Welcome to my fair city.
Let's do a courtier. I want to see exactly what I know about this chickadee.
Cat?
Okay, that's a 10, so that's a reroll. Okay. 18, 27, 34, 38 total.
Okay, with that roll, you know that Hayabu, she inherited her position from her husband, Akata, who was Shishiro. You also know that Hayabu was not born a Shishiro, but a Yogo. She took over after her husband died, and she is calculating, patient, and very powerful. People, when they speak of her in flowery words to make sure it doesn't get back to her.
Okay.
She's lost,
As she walks in,
children from childbirth.
Okay. Oof, that's rough. As she walks in, Clay, I'm going to give her a deep bow and greet her and say, Shishiro Sama. I'm glad to see you in such good shape and spirits after the recent ugliness you had with the crab. And I'm going to make it very apparent that I'm blaming her subtly, blaming her for everything that happened on the night of 1,000 screams.
She looks kind of surprised, and what is that? My staff did an excellent job, and the Emerald Magistrate that was appointed by the Emerald Champion himself was there to do his job. I think it was all handled quite well.
To which my reply will be, indeed. I meant absolutely no disrespect. I was simply pointing out that you definitely look to be in good spirits. In fact, you've definitely earned those spirits, considering that your men did such an excellent job. It was only, what, a handful of people that were killed?
It could have been a lot worse.
And, indeed, mistress. However, that's not what I'm here to discuss. Fate has brought me here on behalf of the Emperor, but I'm yet to figure out exactly what fate has in store for me.
And she smiles, and you see that she's just wearing a silken mask that covers her from her nose to her ears. Her eyes are quite bare with the crow lines of her age. I believe tonight will be quite entertaining to all involved, and she'll smile. I hope that our hospitality, and as she says that, servants come in to fill up your tea, to provide any nourishment that you might need, and you should be ready for the party. I have other guests that are very eager to meet you.
And to make sure that I'm not, because now I'm no longer insulting her on behalf of the Emperor and trying to sow discord here. That's good, because I've heard much good about the feast of your court. I do look forward to meeting this Emerald Magistrate to see if for any reason his reputation matches the demeanor of the man.
Yes. We all want to make sure that his star shines as brightly as it has been. He is the Topaz champion, or at least will be for the next couple of months, until it is passed on to the new generation. And he's done quite well, adopted by Casada, Hero, And she'll smile again.
As she smiles, I'm going to raise my cup to my lips and take a sip and give her a nod that says very clearly that she is definitely a master at playing this game. And I had
She'll
no
kind of
choice
give
but
you
to
a slight
respect
wink.
her.
And she will
In
say,
fact, as
go ahead.
good, I was
No,
going
you
to
go
say,
ahead. Go ahead.
as she's doing that, she's getting a lot more respect from me as this conversation goes on. Part of the reason I've been so rude to her is to see how well she can respond to the very essence of what I am and who I am. I don't think it takes much for her to figure that out.
She just smiles and says, well, I have a city to govern. If you would rest, dinner will be shortly. And she stands up and excuses herself.
As she does, I bow really deep, like extra deep, almost touching the ground. And as I stand up, and is she still kind of leaving the room, right?
Yep.
Or has she already walked out? As she's walking final steps out of the room, I'll say, until dinner, then, Mistress Sama. And if I'm not mistaken, that would be the proper title for a Shishiro female leader, correct?
For her
It would
title,
be a proper title.
It would be one you could call her. She'll stop, turn, and
well,
bow.
If you did that to a
her
lion,
head,
they would cut your balls off. Yeah.
And leaves you. Time will pass.
The reason
go ahead.
The reason I asked that though, Clay, was because if you said that, if you called a lion a mistress, she might cut your balls off.
That is true, but
they're not
she is Shishiro. She is of the Scorpion.
Let's just double check to make sure I'm.
As the night progresses and the dinner is there, what are your preparations? We'll go back to Hida. What are you preparing to do as you are making your approach to the city? What are you bringing? Who are you bringing? And how are you dressed and coming in? You know that it is rude to come in armor. You know that you'll have to check your weapons, even your wakizashi, in the place of honor. You've been doing this before at these parties, so you know the etiquette of what needs to be.
Is there anything that I can wear when I don't have my armor on to symbolize that I'm still the Topaz champion? Like any ornamental sort of thing?
No, there's no ornamental sort of thing. People should recognize you, and if they don't, they disrespect you because you are this year's winner. But you can wear what was gifted to you at the Topaz when you won. You were gifted a set of ceremonial robes, kimonos, and stuff. So you can go in that. It's got the colors of your family, which has been changed, has been refitted for you in the colors of the crab, but has that topaz flair to it. So people should recognize you as that, because a lot of the winners would receive ceremonial garb.
So okay, let me get this straight. So they did update it though, so it's crab now?
They did, because it would be disrespectful to the crab and to the unicorn if you went around with those colors, because it's supposed to represent, your mon is on your left or right or on your back. You have, and you're right, you do have something signifying your thing. You have the topaz mon on your back, and then whatever one you honor the most over your heart in your school or clan. So how you want to do it.
Yeah, let's do that then. So I would have Kasada over my heart, or I would have Hida over my heart, and then I would have the topaz on my back, and I'd wear those ceremonial robes then.
Okay.
I'll show up with Yoko.
Yoko is dressed in all her finery. She's full on, up to her role in unicorn garment. She's got her katana wakizashi that she doesn't know how to use, though she's been training to use it. And what else are you doing?
Oh boy, I'll ask Yoko. Hey Yoko, you think this is something we need to take a gift to?
But of course, Hida-sama, you are meeting a governess, and this was a requested event. You are going to be her guest, and I believe there's more to it. If rumor should have it, there are some Imperials going to be at this dinner as well.
What oh, there's probably some kind of check I can do for this, Clay. In Rokugani culture,
Mhm.
what is representative of water under the bridge, or like letting bygones be bygones?
Go ahead and give me a courtier check. And it'll be awareness courtier.
For reference point, Andrew, if you're a former unicorn or you were raised unicorn, I believe they use water off of a duck's back, which is a Gaijin statement, but they use it. I think that's right.
Okay, so I got a 21.
That's enough to do. So you want to know what kind of gift would symbolize, hey, no hard feelings, water under the bridge kind of thing, yeah?
Yep, exactly.
You would get giving her Yoko advises you to give her a poem, a haiku, to provide you scroll, and she'll write it for you. Her calligraphy is probably a little higher than yours, but to put a poem to symbolize that, no hard feelings, water under the bridge.
Okay, so yeah, I'll have a lot of spring imagery in the poem then, like a renewal of growth.
Okay.
And there'll be context. Obviously, my goal here is to have context to the Shoshiro that I still suspect she's been up to a lot of bad things. But in the wake of what has just happened, I'm going to ease my investigation for a while.
Okay. Any other preparations?
Nope, that would be the major thing. I'll just make sure I have that nice looking gift, the calligraphy for the governess, and then after that, I'll make sure the place is locked up and everything is in order at my offices, then I'll leave with Yoko to go.
Okay. You are the last one to arrive. Think of Keanu Reeves' 47 Samurai, when you see the inside of the courtyard, where you see the main building is there, and then it's kind of not walled off, but it's got a running overhead connecting to another building, and there's a nice, beautiful courtyard in between the two main buildings. And you have rows upon rows of individuals there. At the head of it, the two of you, you're already there, Otomo. But as you come in, Aaron Magistrate, you see banners flying. You see the Seppin banner. You see the Otomo banner flying. And you also see another Imperial banner flying that is also encrusted with the Scorpion Long as part of it. And as you come in, everyone is in their finery. You are being introduced in all your titles. And as the Hatamoto states out, I present Hida Kampachi-sama, Topaz Champion, son of Hida Kasada, just goes through your titles. Victor of the Night of Death. Just goes through everything that you've done, all your prestige. Everyone is watching, and there's kind of a carpet that leads up to the main dais where the governess is seated. You notice that Otomo, you're seated at the main table as well, but you're probably 5 or 6 people away from the center. This is enough to hold probably 20 people on one side facing the entryway. So this is a big gala. You see the lanterns lit up all around. It's getting kind of dark. The sun is setting, and it's a beautiful atmosphere. Strings of silks are posted out in different colors. This is a very festive time. And as you're making your way to approach the main table to give your gift to the governess, a woman steps up to walk with you. She's also flanked by 2 Seppin guards. And she kind of breaks protocol and to do this, and kind of breaks away from the center of your walk, and she joins you to present herself to the governess.
Is this Kachiko?
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay, so I'll frown when I see her.
Is this the crazy Matsu, that lesbian that's been hitting on you, Andrew?
No, this is Bayushi Kachiko. I wish it was the crazy lesbian. This was like my first nemesis of the entire campaign.
This is the ear of the Emperor. His #1 advisor, kind of just walking out from the side with her 2 second guards. Ah!
Nice.
Right before you approach. You hear this, Tomo. Ah, it is such a good time that we have that I can see you again, Hida-san. Please allow me to escort you to our seats. That's when you realize that you are seated right next to Kachiko, and 2 rows over you see another Imperial, and that is you, Otomo. But it's the governess and Kachiko that are sitting dead center. You see the son and daughter of the governess is kind of not even at the table. They've like pushed out at an outring of tables. How have you been?
I will smile a little bit and I'll say, "Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you again, Lady Kachiko, or Lady Bayushi. I have been doing well, though of course my achievements seem to once again pale in comparison to your beauty."
And she just kind of like she's about to take your arm and kind of escort with you, as you see women do in the dances and different things. So she'll stop herself. Ah, thank you for such kind words. Ah, come, let us adjourn. I see that we are also guested by another Imperial. I believe that is Otomo. And she will say, Otomo-san, I'm glad you could attend. My cousin has said such great things to me about you this afternoon. And she's saying that to you, Otomo, as she and the Emerald Magistrate are being seated.
Okay. And Clay, can I roll a sincerity to see if she's flattering me? Basically, give me a little bit of puffing up, trying to lead me into something.
I'll give you a courtier check.
Would that be courtier or sincerity, though? Which way would that go? I mean, it's the same dice roll. It doesn't really matter.
If you want to find out if she's being honest, yeah, you can use sincerity, excuse me. Awareness, sincerity.
That's good. That actually, it also makes a difference, too, because courtier, I have manipulation as a emphasis, so I should be able to tell better if I'm manipulated. That was a 2, so nope. I did not with a 10. Okay. 16, 25, 31.
Ooh, we got a very hard check. I will give you that. She's not manipulating, but she's laying down a subtle, let us say, a subliminal message in what she just said to both of you. That to you, Otomo, is your exchange with her cousin. She's aware of.
Okay.
The back and forth that you know that she's aware of, and to you, Hida, you don't see anything. You're just being greeted to another Imperial.
Oh, of course.
As she said that she heard many good things from her. Is it her aunt?
Her cousin.
Is that who that is? Who the cousin? I'm going to tell her. Well, I would have never hidden it from someone of such beauty and such grace.
I'll relay your message, Tomo-san. Well, if you'll excuse me, I must greet my cousin. She leads you over to the governess. The governess bows very low to Kachiko, and she'll wait on you there, Hida.
She does what now?
She escorts you to the head of the table so which you can present your gift. And she's making her way around the table while you are presenting. She doesn't present anything. but she makes her way around the table and sits herself right next to her cousin, Shishiro Hobu.
Okay. So I will say to the Shoshiro, then I'll say, "Oh, governess, it is a pleasure and a great honor that you've invited me here. I am very grateful, and I offer you this token, hopefully to signify a very prosperous relationship going forward and the springing of a new friendship." And I'll give her the scroll.
You give her the scroll. She'll take it, puts it off to the side. Arigato, Hida-san. I want to thank you for your gift and attending this gathering. My cousin is here on matters of importance, but I wanted to welcome her and our other imperial guests. Let me introduce, and she kind of gestures over to the Otomo. Otomo, this is Hida Kampachi, Emerald Magistrate of our fair city.
As she introduces him, I'm actually going to stand and give him a bow. It won't be a super deep bow, but it'll be enough for him to realize that I recognize his position.
Yeah, I'll stand. I'll turn to him and give him a bow as well and say, "It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Otomo."
It's not every day that one gets to beat the Emerald Champion. I've heard many good things in this region about you.
I'll smile and I'll say, "Oh, a lot of them were probably true." I'll laugh.
If you actually say that to him, he will actually kind of give you a wolfish grin and say he's also humble as well. What a great thing to be.
I'll smile, and then my smile will dim a little bit, and I'll say, "You must forgive me. When it comes to courtly matters, I believe my edge has been dulled. Too much time on the wall, too much time on the beat, I suppose. But it makes me very happy to be in the company of such high caliber individuals."
Again, he kind of gives you that. He's still got that wolfish grin and says, there should be no airs between us. You're a warrior. I'm a man of the court. You never need to apologize for your manners."
I'll give you a little bit of a bow at that.
And with that, he's going to sit down and he's going to start talking to the guys around him as he sits back down. Interestingly enough, Clay, I don't think I would have. I wouldn't have a gift for her because I wasn't actually expecting to come here. So that might I'm going to have to do something to save space on
that. Not a problem. Dinner progresses quite well. I kind of glanced over. Your knowledge would be you'd have stuff ready, and they would be meaningless gifts, but they would be hand gifts that you could give out.
That's fine. If you want to roll that way, I can roll that way. But I was thinking something more substantive. Like normally, I would bring like an idol of jade or something if I knew I was coming. But with this, I probably have like a small card figure or something crappy.
Yeah, you can just give something. It's a small gift, and that's fine. If you want to give something more later, you can. But she wasn't expecting.
That's fine. We'll just give her like a small card. Yeah, that's fine. That works.
And as you guys go about, dinner, it progresses quite well. You have entertainers and different things, and you go through the courses of the meal. Everyone is polite. Everyone is talking about the exploits of the Emerald Magistrate and how things have happened. And as the party kind of winds down for the night, the governor says, "I want to thank everyone." She gives her closing speech to everyone. But we have matters of state to attend to. I and my guests will have to leave. Please enjoy the hospitality of my house. And she excuses herself. Moments later, you two are interrupted. You guys have been socializing and different things. Hida, a lot of people are coming up to you about your antics, your heroism, and different things. Otomo, you're getting brought up. You are an Imperial. And a lot of people are trying to push for Imperial favor. So you guys get a lot of people dragging out your time. I will need a courtier courtier check. Actually, an etiquette check for courtesy to see how you do and if you embarrass yourself. Unless you guys want to role play it out. But basically, Hida, you get 3 major proposals. One, you get a well-known merchant in the area wishes to establish trade with the crab and bring in an influx of jade. 2, the unicorn, the Ide that runs the contingent here, wishes to discuss with you matters of importance, i.e., he's your uncle, and he also received letters from your father and the clan champion in dictating Yoko's position. He will be the mediator between you and your old family.
Okay, Clay, I pulled in a 46 on etiquette.
You're easily able to maneuver around how you wish to do stuff, but no one takes offense to what you say or do.
Do I get Benton's?
Oh, I'm probably.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Sorry.
For the record, I'm probably at this point trying to play families off of each other to keep inter-clan rivalry as much as inter-clan rivalry.
I got a 25.
You're able not to embarrass yourself or to say anything wrong that may get you or your clan in trouble or the Emerald Champion in trouble. The third one is a marriage proposal from the Mantis.
From the Mantis.
But you're able to, say you're able not to commit to anything or to insult those people talking with you before you're escorted out to meet with the governess.
What's the Mantis marriage proposal? Which family is it?
You're Otomo, the head family of the Mantis.
And is it the girl's father that's giving it to me, or is it the actual girl?
It is actually a scorpion. It is Yogo Beneki.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
I am just the middleman, as he smiles at you politely. And then you're asked, you're able to get out of it as you're being escorted to a private chamber.
I do hold the Mantis in a lot higher regard than most clans do, so it's not as preposterous. It's still a little preposterous, but it's not like super preposterous. So I will keep that in mind. I'll keep that proposal in mind. I'm making a note.
Okay. On the opposite end, Otomo, you're able to stop 6 requests of dinners and gifts and other bribes that you're able to determine, and you're able to weave that through. The 2 biggest ones are from Lesser Shishiro family. You know that he runs one of the docks, one of the warehouses on the docks, and a lion that wishes to make inroads into the city and the imperial courts.
This is fun. So with that role, Clay, I'm figuring not only am I denying these people, but I'm doing it in a very backhanded, very impolite way that makes them feel grateful for having been insulted.
Sounds good. And they walk away happy as if they are your best buddies. Moments later, you guys are led into a secure area in the governess's palace, basement level. And as you guys are being escorted, you find yourselves in a 10 by 10 foot room You see that there are table set in the center, very low. You're going to have to kneel and sit on the heels of your feet. But inside you find the governess, Bayushi Kachiko, a Seppen individual that you don't recognize, either of you, and you see another another magistrate in there with you. You are greeted and asked to sit down quickly.
Yeah, I'll do so.
There's no problem with sitting. At this point, if we're talking to the governess, she's getting proper respect.
The governess is there, and you notice that in the corners of this room and above, this is probably 10 by 10 around, but it's probably 30 feet tall. And for you, Hida, you think you see shadows moving within the shadows. It's just kind of an eerie place to be. Even you, Otomo's got that you sense movement and you're being watched as you're in here. It is quite creepy.
Yeah, I definitely feel scorpion shenanigans afoot.
And as you sit down,
Clanophobe. I was just calling Andrew a clanophobe.
And as you sit
Andrew's
down,
totally a clanophobe.
Yes, the scorpions are literally my adversary.
Anyways, keep going, Clay.
As you sit down, you see I am Seppenru. And I have asked Bayushi-sama, Bayushi Dono, to assist me in this matter. And he turns to you, Otomo, and says, being as your skills or may be required for this as well, I have asked to have you sent as well. The governess turns to you, Hida, and says, your duties here will be temporarily handled by Seppenru while you are gone. And that's where she pushes a scroll forward to you, Hida.
Now I will frown, visibly frown, and I'll just sit there for a second with my eyes locked on the scroll. Not doing anything.
No Mon, no no way of identifying who it was set from or what. And Bayushi Kakugo also says and passes one over to you, Otomo. Not as large or as beat up. This one is quite delicate and clean.
I'm going to take a good look at the scroll, and I'm going to respond by saying, Governess Sama, I'd be honored to assist the Scorpion in this matter. And I want to go ahead and see if I can make that as a courtier manipulation.
Okay.
Because I am straight up trying to use this as an excuse to get in good with her.
Okay.
I'm trying to basically play off her. I could do that as sincerity if you'd prefer, but
either way, it'll be a contested roll. Tell me what you get.
Yeah, I was just saying, but I'm actively trying to manipulate her, so that re-rolls because that's a 1. Okay, keep 4, so 13 plus 8 is 20. 21 plus Shazbot. 26. That wasn't a happy roll.
With that roll, you find that she looks at you and she smiles. You see it behind her mask. Of course, you do me such great honor. You know that your stunt was seen through.
I blush just a little bit, and I try to act a little embarrassed, even though I'm really not embarrassed at all.
Okay.
Oh, so I noticed you.
So they wait for you guys to read your scrolls, giving you time to read. And the two women are staring at you guys quite intently as Seppenru is just standing there stoically, kind of staring at the wall, but noticing everything that's going on. Who would like to read theirs first, or are you guys just watching them?
I'll read it.
Yours is, Dear Cousin, greetings, and may our benevolent Emperor's protection find you well. I have found myself embroiled in a situation that bears some disturbing connections to the incidences surrounding the recent Bon Festival in Rio Karori. I need not remind you of the threat we encountered there. I know you share my concern when I say that such a threat may be rising again. I am currently stationed in the village of Kami no Osoan, on the eastern edge of Providence. A Sekenja named Asawa Kirito has been brutally murdered, and I have been ordered to bring the killer to justice. Among the objects reported missing from his abode is a large porcelain mask. The description is identical to the one discovered by the Emerald Magistrate, Hida Kampachi, in the City of Stories. I've studied the mask carefully, as did my lion allies, and we destroyed at least it fall into the wrong hands. I hope it's destroyed. I am certain it carried terrible Mahu powers within it, greater perhaps than any artifact in Iuchiban. It is this new mask. If this new mask contains the same powers, it is a threat to the security of the Empire and must be dealt with swiftly. I believe the murderer took it with him when he fled the scene, and I shudder to think what may happen now and what he may be capable of. If this mask has fallen into a Mahu Tuski's hands, the repercussions would be quite off-putting. I know that I am asking much of you, but could you please request that Hida Kampachi be brought into this matter? His reputation is far more than he realizes, and as the Topaz champion and the things that he has dealt with, I pray that you bring him to us. If you could travel, or if you could have him travel to Kami no Osoran to assist me in this investigation, my gratitude would be yours. Please please ask him to come at his earliest opportunity, as time is of the essence. I remain your humble cousin. And then it's kind of broken off. Yours, Kyle, reads a very short script. Thank you for accepting this mission by our Emperor. He encourages you to follow Hida Kampachi on his mission. Your skills, and it stops, ... Your skills and determination are well known to us. We thank you again in advance. Please prepare yourself and make ready. Signed, Bayushi Kakuko. Ear to the Emperor, Hentai. It looks freshly written.
Well, I wonder why the ear is commanding the mouth, but I'm not going to say anything. The voice of the Emperor is being carried within me, and I'm definitely keeping reservations if I'm being ordered around by a scorpion.
You may be an Otomo, and you don't need to make a roll with this, but she is the advisor of Hentai, and basically has his authority as well when he's not around. So you are kind of.
This is coming from.
Want to do?
Was this good? This was given to us by Kachiko then?
No, the governess pushed yours over and pushed that other one over. Yours is a letter to the Seppen Ru, was addressed to him, asking him to intercede. You don't know right now. You don't know his station and where he is on things with things, but it's gotten so big. Weeks have happened since since the Night of 1,000 Screams. Why the city got together again, healed itself, had the ceremonies and everything. This is kind of the first honorable time to meet together. So basically, this letter had probably gone to him. You don't know when or whatnot, but to have Kachiko here and to have him here, it might be that favors are being exchanged. You've dealt with scorpions in the past. Otomo, you are aware of certain things as well, but you know who Seppen Ru is. He's actually part of your story when you let me know. So you can kind of fill on him later. But basically, he is pushing in favors using Tachiko and the governess. And the governess is hosting this because she is the ruler of this providence. But you know, Kachiko's got her hands in this as well. You don't know if this is a stunt to get you out of the city. You don't know if the governess is trying to get you out of the city. But favors are being pulled, and this is on high. But this is what you realize after you've read it. You're looking back up at them.
It better be really on high, because if the Emerald Champion isn't agreeing to it, I'm not doing it. So I'm standing up and I'm going to say, I am not opposed to aiding you in this manner, but is the Emerald Champion signed off on this?
A moment later, another scroll is passed forward. It bears his seal.
So I'll take that and I'll open it up.
In layman's terms, it says, do what the bitch says. And you know who he's referring to. But it's flowery, but that is the basic term of what it says. Signed, the Emerald Magistrate. Or the Emerald Champion.
Yeah, so I'll take that and hand it back and say, seems like everything's in order.
She doesn't say anything.
As I get a chance to look over this letter a couple of times and trying to process the right way to respond to this, I'm going to hand back the letter, the initial letter, to the governess, and respond with, the voice of the emperor goes where the emperor needs it. If the ear has heard that the voice is needed, I will carry the message.
Kachiko turns to you and says, if what I have been told is true, you will do quite well in this assignment. Your skill set may be tested.
Might I make a request, governess?
Of course.
Could you have us sent immediately?
Say that again. Clay's saying that, not the governess.
Sorry, I say, could you have us sent immediately?
You should be leaving in the morning. You are traveling to, excuse me, my throat's acting up. You will be traveling to Benton Pass, which is along the crane, crab, or scorpion routes to make your way there.
Very good. I'll have to set up. Actually, you said the Seppin will be taking over my duties while I'm gone. I'll have to liaison with him for a moment because I have some messengers coming with information for me from Crablands, as it so turns out. But yes, I think expediency would be good. I'd like to deal with this matter as soon as possible.
A question. Did we ever execute those sociopathic lunatic cultists that were left alive? Including the kid
They would have been hung. They would have been hung.
I wasn't sure how much time had passed. Because if I was going to say, maybe we should set up them being executed before we leave town, because I don't want to leave a bunch of cultists with a susceptible guy.
That's my concern. Don't you worry about that.
Again, it looks like this meeting is kind of...
That was the player talking, not the character.
Oh, I know. I was answering you as the player.
And then she turns and says, Seppin Rusan will meet you in the morning to relieve you of your duties. This matter is of importance. Please handle it with care, says Kachiko. The governor says, Seppin-san, Fender Guard will be at your disposal. And he just kind of looks at the wall and bows. Hi. If you'll excuse me, he stands up. Ida-san, I will meet you in the morning to discuss the details of your duties, or my new duties, while here. I have some Seppin that will act as my deputies. You notice the governess is not too thrilled when he says that, but she doesn't show it too much. But you've been around her enough, and the Atomo is enough of a diplomat to know that that bothered her, and that you saw signs, those crow feet at her eyes kind of tightened up some. Tachiko is still smiling, and nothing seems to have bothered her. And he leaves. She turns and says, well, now that business has been handled, there are a few personal matters to bring to your attention. And she slides another scroll your way, Hida, and the governess seems to be making small talk with you, Atomo.
Okay, what's in the scroll? I'll open this one.
And the scroll is another letter. And in this one, it is written in kind of a blunt hand, as if he's not used to writing letters. And it comes off as such. Son, you have been procrastinating and dragging ass for the last couple of months. I am getting bombarded by headaches from Matsu, from the dragon, from the unicorn, on both marriage proposals, challenges of combat, and one I don't even want to discuss, it says. Finish your shit and get your ass to the wall. Signed, your father, Casada. P.S. Do it quickly. You're needed here. I am in contact with the Emerald Champion to get you down here. And it's very blunt and very to the point.
Good. I won't say anything, but I'll seal that one up and take it.
Okay. And Kachiko is just smiling at you as you do that. Seems a samurai's job is never done. She just seems to say on whim.
Oh, you know, busy.
Well, on that note, gentlemen, we must leave you. And the two women get up. The governess bows to you both. Kachiko smiles, almost as if as she passes you, Otomo, that she's going to put her hand on your shoulder. But it's just almost a light touch, but doesn't really touch. She doesn't even touch your kimono. And then she walks by you, Hida, and the perfume whiffs into your nose.
I'll try not to let it faze me. I know it smells good. I'm going to as the governess goes though, I'm going to say, governess, could I have just one quick word with you? It's concerning a personal matter.
Of course, if my other guests would excuse us. And she'll get up and you guys can go off to a side room. Soji's screen opens on the opposite end and you can go through. But as you go through, for some reason you look back and you look at Kachiko. And then you blink your eyes and just for a moment you see someone you haven't dreamt about in possibly the last couple of weeks. The smell of cherry blossoms fills your nose. A feeling of lust overwhelms you for a moment, as almost like Bane from Batman, the veins in your neck, your forearms, your massive build kind of tighten. And then as you blink again, and like a bull just blowing out steam out of his nose, you kind of look back and you see Kachiko just kind of staring. Looks like she's excusing herself, but she does catch your eye for a moment as she leaves at the opposite end.
That was foreboding.
What are you going to do, Otomo? While it seems like everyone has been dismissed and you're kind of finding yourself alone.
After being creepily touched. I need an adult. I may or may not have to claim sexual assault on Rokugani Twitter. That being said, I'm actually going to retire back to my room rather than to the main hall. Is my Yojimbo staying with the rest of the Seppun now that we know they're here?
No, he is assigned to you, so he would be on an adjoining room to your quarters.
I didn't know how that would work out with him being here with us being like literally right next to his own family. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to tell him that I have a mission for the Emperor, and I'm going to give him an option of remaining behind with his family and helping here in the City of Lies, or he can come with us and maintain both his honor and his status that I beseech or not beseech bequeath upon him. I can grant him status. I really have a really high opinion of myself, if you can't tell, as a character.
He turns and tells you, duty demands that I accompany you wherever you go. You may be quite skilled, Tama-sama, but I am your Yojimbo. Where you go, I must follow until I am relieved of my duties, by death or by instruction.
I give him a great big bow and let him know that I appreciate his dedication to his duty. And at that point, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to tell him to go ahead and prepare to retire because we have to be up extremely early in the morning to get a start on the problems ahead. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take tea. I'll go ahead and get with one of the servants and have them service our night tea.
Easily
everything
done.
else. And just prepare to rack out by doing all the proper steps to racking out for a Rokugani.
Okay. We will turn back to our Emerald Magistrate and the Governess. What is it that you wish to talk to her about? You guys are finding yourselves in kind of a small back room.
I'll say, thank you, Governess. I just wanted to take a moment to tell you that I meant what I said when I gave you the gift, and I fully intend on tomorrow morning when I turn over my office to the Seppen. I intend to make sure that all the documents pertaining to my investigation of the drug trade and everything else going on here are disposed of. He is getting turned over a clean slate.
It is good to know. I'm glad that you've been able to clean up what I imagine is a very large case pile.
Indeed. And I'll just smile and say, I don't know how long this task is going to take, but if I ever find myself back here again, hopefully it's amicably.
I do not think your duties to the city are at an end. It has seemed that it has been requisitioned elsewhere.
It is true, but I didn't mention this in the other room because it was more of a personal matter. But Kasada has notified me that he is pulling his own favors with the Imperial Court, with the Emerald Magistrate, to try to get me to return to the wall. Evidently, there are some other pressing matters that are going to require my attention.
Oh, I would hate to see you gone. But like they say, duty does call.
And after all, I am a crab now, at heart. So the wall is where I was always meant to be, I suppose. But anyways, I just wanted to put any questions you had to rest. When I turn the office over, since it's the last time I might be in it, rest assured anything I was working on will be terminated. Whoever's going to follow up after me is going to come into it with a fresh perspective.
Hi, that would be quite good. Fresh eyes and all.
Yep. And I'll give her a bow and say, all right, that was all. Thank you, Governess.
She lets you go and excuses you.
And I do plan to make good on that. And this is not altruism or actually just trying to make the Governess my friend. I am literally disposing of anything I did that could even remotely implicate me in some kind of crime or dishonorable act. I'm fucking
You gonna go full Enron and start shredding your papers?
Yeah, this is like 100% Enron. I'm fucking Hillary Clintoning that drive.
You're gonna get a fucking Earth magnet to make sure that drive is empty.
Yeah, could you have a couple Shugenja come over that could create like a gigantic electromagnetic wave to fry my drives?
Rokugan in the modern era. Why does that sound like a Shoshiro thing to do? Ooh, the
See,
gauntlet's been thrown down, bitch.
well, you forget I am a Bayushi Bushi. I've studied at least with the Scorpion.
I don't know. I'm just fucking around with you.
It is ingrained in my way. Like my character is part Scorpion, literally. But yeah, I'm no
12
fool.
gauge.
I'm not letting a fucking Seppen and Imperial poke around and all that shit.
So what I'm hearing is the Atomo is not welcome at your office.
Oh, he's welcome after I've burnt the documents.
I may have to burn down the whole building, but it's okay.
Yeah, so I'm like
Hey,
after I leave the governess, I will grab Yoko and say, Otaku, we should probably head back quickly. We have a lot of work to do.
Hi. And she
what
follows
did
you.
we, legitimate question. What did we do with the body of that guy we tortured?
I don't know.
Is he
He
still
was
in the basement?
disposed of.
It's been 2 weeks. He didn't a corpse didn't sit underneath my desk for 2 weeks.
No, Yoko had it removed.
He wasn't. Hey, what you're telling me is you're not John Wayne Gacy. Okay, that's good.
Well, it's not, it's not like I have like a fucking rape dungeon. It's my office, so people have been in and out, coming and visiting me for magistrate business. So my guess is, I would have taken care of that really quick, basically after the Night of 1,000 Screams ended.
The things that come out of this game that I never thought we would have to talk about, one of them is being John Wayne Gacy, and the other is the word that I don't have a rape dungeon. Christ, dude.
Oh,
I need at least one game where I play with people that's not completely awkward.
I don't have one yet. Let's be clear. I don't have one yet.
But Momo can totally help with this.
Yeah, like that's one of my long-term character goals is to imprison sexy women of Rokugan and beat them with reeds. Now, let's move on. I need to go and dispose of all these incriminating documents.
As you guys make your way back, Yutomo has gone to rest. He's done his nightly rituals and has gone to rest. You've gone back. You've made it back to your compound. What are you wanting to do?
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go over to like the wall of like scrolls and all the information I have, and I'm gonna start parsing through it. And I'm going to direct Yoko also to help me dispose of anything dealing specifically with Whisper or the governess.
You're able to pull your files. Yoko is like she's very good, very organized. She's able to help you pull those files quickly. And what would you have done with them?
We'll burn them.
You see Yoko sprinkles over some ash over it and starts to pray a little bit. Moments later, they go up into flames. Even the ash of the burnt scroll seems to float upon the wind and disperse.
And then there's the matter of the mask, which everybody thinks for some reason I have destroyed.
She brings that over to you. It's wrapped in silks that have different kanji written on them. For kanji of protection, kanji of warding, and she opens it on your desk, and you see the porcelain mask is there.
I'll say, good. This is going with us. I'm gonna have to dispatch a second messenger to try to intercept the Kuni that the crab are sending. I'll have him meet us at the location we're going to take the mask. I think that'll be better. I don't want to leave it with somebody here. I simply don't trust them.
Okay. She can she will write out the notice and have it sent out in the morning.
And then after that, I will say, tomorrow when we meet with the Seppin here before we leave, I'm going to let him know about the Unicorn Assembly and the Dragon Assembly and how they think that I'm going to be here to help them solving these matters with my Yojimbo. And essentially, I'm going to tell the Seppin to let them know that I have been reassigned on very important business that trumps their concerns.
Sounds good.
Void Dragon knows you're a liar.
She pens that out for you and is prepared. Anything else?
No, I think that's about it. Yoko, are you going to be ready to journey with me tomorrow?
Of course. I have
Good.
prepared. I will prepare our things for tomorrow's travel. You may wish to grab any other items or weaponry you may require. You know, requisition and stuff before you are before we are sent out.
Very good. I'll go ahead and write up your and I travels papers too, so we're ready to go.
You may wish to also write up for, if you have told me right, the Atomo. He will require travel papers as well.
Yeah, I don't think they provided him with any.
Actually, I also don't think Imperial families don't have to have the travel papers, do they?
They do. Just because you're
It's been a
Imperial
while
doesn't
since I've
mean you
looked
can
at
go through
houses.
anybody else's territories and stuff. You still have to have travel papers on while you're there, or they may assume you're a
That's
spy.
right, because there's I forgot about that because there is technically imperial held territories and then clan held territory. You're right.
Correct.
It's just been a while since I've messed around with imperial families. So
Okay, so
Not a problem.
I'm gonna need travel papers for the Atomo and his Seppin. I can handle that. All right, I'm gonna get going on that then. Let me know if anything comes up with that messenger.
Okay. Couple hours pass by, and it's about probably 10 at night, and you're preparing. You finished what you need to do and everything else, and you're about to rest when you hear a coming from the main door down below.
I'll get up and walk over and pick up my. Actually, you know what? My Tetsubo's been really badly damaged, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
I'll still pick up the Tetsubo. I'm not gonna pick up anything else at the moment. And I'm going this is basically like the dad grabbing the baseball bat before he goes downstairs to check on the noise.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab the Tetsubo and walk down to the door.
You walk down to the door and you hear breathing coming from the other end, exaggerated breaths. What is taking so long? Does he mean to keep me here waiting this entire time? And then you hear, please remain calm, Matsusama. I believe they are on their way. It is quite late at night. I do not give a... And you hear the muffled, I have been ordered to be here. He should be courteous enough to open the door.
Wait, is that the voice of the Matsu that's trying to get me to marry her?
The family is trying to get you to marry her. Yes.
Uh-oh.
Raging lesbian.
I look around. Has Yoko been up and disturbed by this?
You notice you kind of look around and you kind of peek over where you kind of see the stairwells leading up. You see Yoko. She's in her nighttime kimono. She's kind of peeking down. She looks at you, looks at the door, looks at you, and slowly makes her way back up.
Oh, that
lesbian's gonna have you one way or the other, Andrew. They have to break down the door and drag you out.
One sec. Is there a acting skill that's different than perform oratory?
Let me double check.
I think you can take perform acting.
If you want that performed check, yes, you can.
I'm gonna spend a void point to become skilled and perform acting.
To do what?
I'm basically going to try to impersonate an aide and tell them that the Emerald Magistrate's not here right now.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
This is so fucking stupid. What skill? What trait would that be? Is that awareness?
I'll go awareness with
I
it.
think what performs are mostly awareness, aren't they?
Depending on, it varies depending on what you want to perform. But I'll go with awareness on this.
Oh.
Okay.
And it'll be a contested roll versus her sincerity.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, now I'm gonna use a luck point to reroll that. All right, I got a 32.
Okay, let me punch this in. She doesn't have any sincerity. She's not going to blow a void on it. You're able to do so, so go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Excuse me, Lady Matsu, but the Emerald Magistrate is out. He is preparing to leave for tomorrow.
Okay, with that, I'm going to give her another roll because you've kind of given yourself away a little bit. I want to see if she catches it. Because you haven't opened the door, how do you know she's a Matsu?
By the way, Andrew,
She said someone referred to her as Matsu, didn't they?
Oh, okay, that's
I
true.
think
I'll
so.
give that to you. I'll give that to you. So she won't get that extra roll. That incompetent buffoon, that no deserving crab, has the gall not to be here when I arrive. Yatsuki-san, this is one of your clansmen. This is a disgrace and a dishonor. Kasada will hear about this. And you hear that same voice. Matsusama, it is possible that he is on assignment. He is quite a well-known Emerald Magistrate of the city. He has survived longer than the previous two. One that was part of your own clan partake. And you hear, you dare insult my family? And you hear from a lower part of the door, no insult was given, Matsusama. Those are challenging words. I will be here first thing. My mother better not hear of this. And you hear steps going away.
Okay, Andrew, it's official. The Matsu are your Sackville Bagginses.
Yeah, very much so. I'm going to gulp very loudly.
Then you hear coming
Okay,
from
that's when you
upstairs.
leave in the morning.
That's when you hear upstairs the pitter patter of little feet moving away from the stairwell back into a room.
I will go up to Yoko's room and knock on the door.
And in a maskly voice, you hear, "I'm sorry, but Utaku Battle Maiden is not here. Please leave a message."
And I'll
Very
say,
blatantly being rude.
I'll say through the door, "Har har, very funny, Yoko. However, if anybody asks, we have an assistant named Heppo. Good night."
She laughs. She'll embarrass herself and laugh. That's when, as you make your way to your room, another door opens and you see a very beautiful, half-naked woman exit. Is everything okay, Hida-sama? You know, the slip of the kimono off the shoulder. What I need from you is a willpower check.
Okay. And
We
damn,
can start hiring hookers.
this was my Dennis Kellogg's dragon. This was like his love interest.
Yes, because you never dismissed her.
She came up a couple times. I think during like the last 10 games, like I think she poured tea for us once.
Yeah, she's Yoko's assistant. Since
Okay.
Void Dragon is not here, or not Void Dragon, but Asuna is not here.
Okay, I got a 37.
Ken, again, lust just envelops you for a moment as you're seeing this. But instead of, a manly lust, it's kind of almost a bestial-like lust where this is prey and that you could take her. And again, your nose is inflated, or not inflated, but invaded by that cherry blossom smell. And you see just for a moment as you look, her hair is darker, her skin more white instead of the tan that she has. Her eyes seem just a little off. And that lustful feeling just radiates from you, and you take a couple steps forward and you're able to break away from it. But you're face to face, you could just breathe her in, and you smell the soapiness off her skin. The blossoms fade, and you hear a trickling laugh, really almost on a subconscious level.
Yeah, after looking like a lion about to take down a gazelle for a second.
She looks a little panicked, but she hasn't moved, as if prey doesn't move when the hunter's around.
I'll say, as I realize what I'm doing, I'll stop and I'll try to get a kinder looking face, and I'll say, sorry, it was one of the women who have made a marriage proposal to me, Amatsu. She seems to be very aggressive in trying to get an audience with me.
You're going to call that a woman?
She just nods and, of course, thank you for explaining it to me. And she takes a step back and kind of slowly slides the screen door, but waits for you to give the acknowledgement that you're done with her.
What's her name? I always forget her name.
Sako.
I'll say, one second, Sako. I had a question for you.
Yes.
I'm being ordered by the Emerald Champion to attend to a matter back in Crablands. I don't know how long I'm going to be gone. The Seppen, or a Seppen, is going to be taking over my charge in the meantime. He's going to be here at the office acting as the magistrate. And I'd like to ask what you want to do, because my opinion on the matter is going to have a great influence. Would you like to stay here and assist him, or do you have other business you'd like to attend to while I'm gone?
She hesitates for a moment, but says, I will remain if that is all right, if my services are warranted.
I'll say, of course, I think you'd be very useful, and of course, the governess would appreciate that.
You know that she understands your double play on the meaning. Of course. Good night, Hida-sama.
And I'll say, hey, Soko, one last thing.
She stops.
Take care of yourself and make sure to be careful, because it might be a long time before I'm back.
Of course. Good night. And she slides it there, but instead of having that, the deer in the headlights look, she kind of tries to put on some airs of sexuality to show you, and she shuts the door.
Yeah, and I'll think to myself after the door closes, like, what the fuck is going on? Why do I keep seeing Fu Ling's concubine?
Nobody answers you.
I'll look over creepily to the topaz armor.
Where do you store your topaz armor? Is it in your room, or is it in a place of honor down below so everyone can see it? Where do you display it?
I'm a pragmatist when it comes to my weapons and stuff, because I keep my weapons in my room too, so I'm guessing my armor's here.
And you stare at it, and nothing seems to be changed much, but you feel a presence looking back at you. You feel it more than see it. Because you've rarely been out of your armor in a long time. And just in the recent ever since the Night of 1,000 Screams, you've been, for different functions and stuff, been out of it.
Oh yeah, I'll look over to the scroll that I had that Kasada gave me, telling me he needs me back on the wall, and I'll think to myself, I'm gonna have to explain what this armor is and what it's doing to Kasada. He and the Kuni are perhaps the only people in Rokugan that can help me.
And with that, the night sleep takes you over, and the caw of a rooster in the background wakes the two of you, and we'll start the day over. We will take a few-minute break so I can go use the head, and you guys can prepare for the next part of the travel.
Okay, so Andrew, I have a feeling you're going to be sexually assaulted before you leave this town. Just going to say it now.
Let's find somebody that looks like me to.
You could be like that Italian woman that the Italian court just ruled was too ugly to rape.
I think I'm gonna leave like immediately. I'm just gonna leave this up in a letter and get the fuck out of here.
Dude, I cannot list all the ways in which somebody creepily like raging lesbian showing up in my front door would be a terrible idea. Like it'd be like a Black Fury trying to have sex with you in a werewolf.
I'm about to marry the mantis just to stop this.
And offend the shit out of the fucking lion. Start a blood feud between the lion and the mantis. That'd be awesome.
I mean, as long as this mantis is like a babe. Watch it be like just like some fucking just like SJW dyke. Like the mantis is like fucking looks like
Looks like Trigglypuff.
No, even worse than that because of the pirate angle. It looks like Oliver Platt from Three Musketeers. Now notice I didn't say a female Oliver Platt. It just looks like Oliver Platt.
Probably has a penis too. Because remember, not all women have vaginas.
Yeah, that they're gonna show up. I'm gonna be like, there's gonna be this like buxom babe, and I'm gonna be like, I always knew that I was meant to marry a man.
Let me introduce you to my cousin, and you just like your balls shrill up into your lungs.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm her handmaiden. This is the woman you'll be marrying. Hello there, Hida.
You know what it's like? It's like playing in a game of 7C and be like, I'm going to marry this really sweet Montague chick, right? And you find out she's really Usura. It's like, ew, bear people.
Yeah, what I see in my head, a pirate princess. What's actually there when I get there? The waitress from Long John Silver's.
You're seeing Natalie Portman from freaking from Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, and what you get is Trigglypuff.
Yeah, this is not gonna be good. Still though, this is still, even if that's what happens, I still think that's preferable to the Matsu.
It might be, dude. Like, Amatsu is aggressive sexually anyways. Like, dude, do you really want a woman that rides you like a lion? I mean,
maybe. But this particular Matsu hates my guts. So
the real question for you, Andrew, is do you want to have sex with a Rokugani fucking dildo?
This well, that's what she thinks will happen. That's not what's gonna actually happen though, because when it comes to wrestling, I'm really good. But
there will be no wrestling. They're gonna fucking knock you out with like evening tea, and you're gonna wake up to it.
Yeah, right. I don't take evening tea from lions.
I wouldn't if they were trying to fucking like show up at my house to kidnap me to marry me.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Like I said, they're the Sackville Bagginses, man. They're absolutely fucking evil.
The only way the lion's marrying me is if I actually break and tame her. Which, by the way, is not going to happen because, like I said, she actually hates my character and probably wants to kill me. She was actually Justin LaFontaine's characters. She was his love interest from the Topaz Championship, and she hated my guts. Like I sabotaged her. I almost made her like fail her Jinpuku.
Ugh. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, I started reading Fellowship again. Why the fuck does that book take so long to get moving?
Oh, Fellowship?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, what part do you think doesn't move, first of all? Because I might have a different opinion on that. But
like just everything between Bree and when he wakes up at Elrond's house feels like it should be way faster.
Okay. I think, like, for me, the slow part is basically a conspiracy unmasked all the way up until Bree. Mm-hmm. Like that, like the whole Tom Bombadil and the walking through the woods to get to Bree. All that stuff is like really boring to me.
It is. It's really long, and then the beginning at the House of Elrond is really fucking boring too because it's a lot of background. Like, I don't care about the even star. I don't.
Well, it is up on subsequent readings, but like the first time you read it, like the two most important chapters of Fellowship are probably Shadows of the Past and the Council of Elrond.
Yeah.
But like after you've read it, because all those, like, I know Tolkien refers to Shadows of the Past as the principal chapter of the series.
Yeah.
Like that's where the quest is actually identified. Like what's actually happening and what the books are going to be about is explained in Shadows of the Past.
Yeah.
Council of Elrond is just a further exposition on Shadows of the Past. So it's like when you know absolutely nothing about Middle Earth or Arda, it's really interesting. You're like, oh wow, so this is what the books are going to be about. But after you know what the books are about, those chapters are superfluous.
They are. It's just like I said, it just takes forever. Once they leave Elrond's house, it actually gets pretty easy moving for the rest of the series. Just getting to where they get to Barad-dûr, or not Barad-dûr, Khazad-dûm, where they get to Lothlorien. It's just so fucking long.
So I am back, gentlemen. So I'm going to get you guys started on the next part, and then kind of end it. Today's episode, or whatever you want to say, session is about getting you guys prepared for the next arc, which is the Tomb of Ichiban, is what you guys are playing.
Roger, Roger.
So we'll cut to the next day. We'll start with our Imperial. You are awakened up quite early by Seppin Rue. Actually, your Jimbo does wake you up and informs you that Seppin Rue is here to receive you and prepare for our journey this morning. That's to you there, Imperial.
Sorry, I thought that was Andrew. Sorry, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and get our horses and everything ready, order them ready, and then we're going to do the thing proper. We're going to take morning tea, and then I'm going to make sure that while we're doing that, I'm going to order one of the other Imperial guards, or even if we can get a Sepun to do it, just out of loyalty to the family, to make sure our armor's okay. Make sure there's no problems with our armor before we don it, and then we're going to do our armor and everything. And we're not just going to leave without saying anything. We're going to make sure that we leave properly, giving proper respect to the governess and everything else upon leaving, yada, yada, yada. You know.
You make your inquiries, but as of this morning, the governess is in chambers and regretfully is unable to receive you. Please enjoy your journey and be safe on your return, either to the capital or to our fair city, says her representative.
That's totally completely fine. I'm good with that. If I can't talk directly to her, at least we tried and we're doing the thing right. So boom, there we go.
Okay, that morning, a contingent of Seppin Guard, yourself, and your Yojimbo, Jiro, arrive. We'll cut over to you, Emerald Magistrate. Tell us about how you wake up in the morning.
The moment the cock crows, I'm jumping out of bed and gathering my things. And I'm going to go to Yoko and say, Yoko, we need to leave a message telling the Seppin that we're going to meet the others on the road and that we required an early start. We got to get out of here before the Matsu shows up.
You hear, I am preparing, and you see that she is gathering armament. She's got heavy armor for herself. She's got heavy armor. Your armor is ready to go. You also see that she's got Yumi and two quivers of arrows. She's got a Naginata. She's kind of loaded up.
Fucking excellent. Yeah, I'll make sure I've got all my stuff. So, like, my damaged Tetsubo's going back with me because I'm going to need the smiths at Casada's to repair that at some point. And I'll have my my Moto Scimitar and my Daisho. And, of course, the Topaz armor. The mask, which is of the chiefest most concern, will be tucked underneath my kimono and will go beneath my armor, making it so I can't get it out unless I disrobe my armor, because I don't want that thing falling out. I don't want somebody taking it from me I don't want other people to know I have it. I'm concealing that to the utmost.
So okay, this mask is about as big as your chest and your abdomen. So it's going to be a tight fit with your armor, but you can do it, and it doesn't break. But it is very uncomfortable. In the times it touches your skin, it's almost kind of a slimy, a dry, slimy feeling, as if you're touching dead flesh.
Yeah, and I'll think to myself the entire time, I need to get this to the Cooney.
And as you're preparing to leave, you notice that your other administrator, she comes down, and she does pose and prance a little bit when you're in the area, but when Yoko's there, she doesn't do as much. And she bows low as you guys are about ready to head to the Soji screen and the main door leading out of the compound. So I will watch your building. It is yours, even though you are being relieved temporarily. And she'll bow low. And as you two leave, you all kind of meet together outside the door and inside the gate area. You're in the main strip. You see that the docks are right there. You see riding on ponies is the Imperials coming up, Sepp and Rue and his guys, and the Atomo riding up. Yoko has already prepared your mounts. You guys do have another thing that bothers him. You do have two horses, not ponies. These are actually the horses. One is the Itakus. That is no longer the Itakus. And the one that you got from your father years ago.
Yeah, my Gaijin horse.
Yep. And you are going to ride rather tall above the others as you mount up. And as you guys are making your way to the main gate leaving the city, a commotion breaks out. And you see a contingent. Think of this, as you guys are riding out of the city, and you guys are probably a good 3 football field lengths away, and it opens up into plains easily rideable. Coming from the gate is a contingent of horsemen. And you see them flying the Sashimonos of the Lion Clan, the Matsu in particular.
Time to go, gentlemen.
You've already exchanged your stuff with Rue, and he's kind of taken over. Your secretary will advise him on different things, but you think that he's going to run the ship how he wants to. And the 3 of you, no, there's more than that. There's two. The 4 of you ride, and that's when you notice the commotion coming from the town. And this is off to a distance. They probably don't even see you, but you see a cavalry of lion riding out, but they kind of veer off to the west, so they're not going the same general direction of you. And that is where we'll end it, as you guys are making your way to Benton's Pass.
I'll exhale loudly.
But the hunt is on. One to assist the magistrate's or the Seppin's cousin, and one to escape the Matsu hunting you.
I finally escaped the fat lesbian. Oh my god, I'm never going to escape the lesbians.
And I will cut it, guys. Thank you for playing. Thanks to the 1 or 2 people that were watching. We're going to run this arc of this game. I'm going to be running 2 campaigns simultaneously. One in the 4th edition realm, where these guys are at. They're ranks 3 and 4. And the other one is in 5th edition at an earlier time, as they are rank 1 in 5th edition. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. Later.